just as a frame of reference, we're here today to celebrate and thank Craig for an incredible 8 years of growth in our program. And so I'll start on that premise and just say that in this, as you build programs, it's really hard to grow something out of you birth it and you start it from a spot and continue to maintain excellence. It's really hard. And what Craig has done from the outset to take Kentucky volleyball and put us on the map in terms of not only in our league but nationally has been nothing short of amazing for 8 years. So there has been no drop-off in what he has done. It's been rock solid. And he and I were chatting last couple weeks and just talking about the journey of Kentucky athletics in total, and it has mirrored what he has done, a lot of that because of what he has done. And you talk about, we and I were chatting about running marathons and stuff like that, and it's a 26-mile race, and it's broken down sometimes into two components. The first 20 is really, really hard, and the last 6 is when you see if you can survive and go win it and get it done. But the first 20 is really hard because all the training and all the things that you've done get you to that spot where you have a chance to go finish the race. And so that's sort of what Craig has done. He's built an unbelievable 8-year run of, multiple 20-win seasons. I mean, if you read the numbers, it's pretty staggering to think about from the get-go. 180 wins and 76 losses, and been to this tournament all 8 years. One of only 14 teams in the nation to appear in all 8 tournaments in the last 8 tournaments. 17 or more wins in all 8 seasons, 20 or more wins in 5 of the last 6 seasons. You're talking about 13 All-American selections in the last 6 years, and one of just 16 teams in the country to have at least one All-American selection each of the last 6 years. 30 All-SEC selections, and 6 Player of the Year honors, including Stephanie Cleefoot, and 3 straight Libero of the Euro accolades, and Sarah Rumley, who we remember Sarah when she was here. I can go on. He's been Coach of the Year in our league. Academically, they've been an outstanding team away from the floor. They've done a great job in the classroom. Never had ever a question about that. So he's challenged our kids academically as well, and they've been good citizens for our program. So we're very, very fortunate in that. Having said all that, what ends up happening is as we pursue greatness, other people pursue us. And they try and they come after what they deem to be really, really quality people. And I'm not, that's not, what we want to do is do preventative maintenance, so to speak. We don't want to let that happen. So it's our goal to not have Kentucky be a transition place where people transition away from our program to go to something deemed better. We want to make this a place people deem to be great. And so in an effort to keep greatness here, we put something together for Craig and for Megan in a show of appreciation, and hopefully for the 8 years they've given us, and to create hopefully a home for the 2 of them and their 3 children for a long time to come. So that's our goal. And in doing that, we put together a 6-year deal for Craig that will, currently it ends on June 30th, 2019. We're planning about that far out. We've got several of our coaches at that length, and we wanted Craig to be one of those folks, and to thank him for a job well done, and in an effort to make sure that this is a destination for he and his family, and to let them know how much we appreciate the great job he has done so far. And so that's where we are. You should get copies. That's in a release, I think, and you've got copies of the contract in your hand, the details of which you can all read through and figure that out. So having said all that, I want to thank he and Megan. She slipped back there trying to be anonymous in the back row, and it doesn't go without people like her that the spouses in this thing sometimes get forgotten how much they give to it and how hard they work. And so we thank you. Chasing down 3 kids, I know what that looks like, and so that's a hard deal. But we appreciate them very, very much and congratulate them on this day, and very, very thankful for their commitment to Kentucky, and looking forward to celebrating many more great things going forward. So I'll turn it over to Craig and let him.
Well, first of all, this isn't the first time Mitch has extended my contract, but the first time in '08, I didn't feel like I wanted to be about me. You know, it was more about the program, kids, players, you know, all those things. So I've always been appreciative of Mitch and extending my contract each and every year, but you know, currently just want to thank Mitch and Connie. They've been with us through this whole thing from in 2005 and very knowledgeable in the volleyball world with daughters that play, and maybe too knowledgeable. You know what we're doing down there. No,
Not that much.
But and Dr. Capilouto for just trusting myself and our staff, the leadership of this program and where we're going. In our sport, it's, you know, I think we're continuing to grow as a sport and evolving, especially here and across the country. And, you know, we want to be a leader in terms of what we do and how we help evolve volleyball nationally, but also locally here in the city, in the Commonwealth, and that's very important to us, and appreciate their trust. And Katie Eiserman, who's worked through us in this process, and the whole administration, and all the extended staff that make a big impact on what we do, and it's always continues to be about the whole package and everyone involved, because you know we can't do the things we want to do without all those people involved. You know, Megan and I came here to Lexington, wanted to raise our family in a great place, and we get the opportunity to continue to do that. And obviously need to thank her for the countless hours with our kids, and especially when I'm on the road, and how difficult it is, you know, in the profession we live in, because it's not easy. But without her support and her knowledge of coaching in general, not sure we could do it all the time. But you know, I love coming to work with my staff every day. You know, Keith, Lindsay, Mandy, Kyle, Brett. We have a great staff, and you know, one of the, in my opinion, one of the best staffs in the country, and that people want to be a part of, and most importantly, our players. You know, they're the ones that accept our challenges and want to be pushed and want to be challenged each day. And the past players that played for us, the current players, and the future ones that really make it exciting for our fans to come and watch. And that's, you know, why we do it every day. But, you know, like Mitch said, we came to build a program, and not just a team, not just a win, not just little things here and there, but a complete program of national relevance. And we're on our way. We're doing some special things. We've done a lot of great things. We want to compete for championships continually each and every year. We want to make deep runs in the NCAA tournament to be, you know, nationally recognized as the landscape of volleyball changes with the conferences changing. We want youth volleyball to continue to grow like it has across this city and around the Commonwealth. I've said this before, but I'm blown away by the number of high school athletes playing team sports on the female side. The number one participated sport is volleyball. And if you had asked me that 8 years ago, I would have said, there's no way that's possible, but that's, you know, what is the case right now. And that's very important to our players so that they understand that they are role models going forward. And our university and our fan base have bought in and feel like I want them to have a share of what we do. It's not just myself, our staff, our players. It's a community of people that want to see us be successful. And most importantly, we're not finished. You know, and Mitch and I talk about this all the time, that we want to continue to go forward. And I want Kentucky volleyball to be considered an elite program in the country. And again, it's not a team, it's a program that athletes aspire to be a part of, that fans want to come and watch, that, you know, we continually raise the bar in terms of number of people that watch this exciting sport right here. And, you know, it's at a very exciting time, I think, at the University of Kentucky because of all the current successes we've had in teams the last few years, and, you know, the exciting thing that's going on in football right now. And, you know, our program can't thank enough programs like football, basketball that provide the revenue sources for us to do the things we do. And again, I'd want to thank Mitch and Connie and Dr. Capilouto for allowing Megan and I to be part of this great place for several more years.
Mitch, you said as you pursue greatness, people want to pursue you. I'm just curious, how many people have tried to pursue Craig, and Craig, have you ever been tempted?
Well, I will say this. There's not a year that goes by that Craig's name isn't mentioned somewhere. And we're crazy if we think it's not going to happen. You don't look down the list, you know, as an athletic director. You look at the list if you're going to go change coaches or you are looking for a coach. You look and see who's done what, who's in that circle of teams that you want to you want to look at, Craig's name's going to be on every one of those lists. There ain't any question about that. You came to Kentucky in 2005, and our history in volleyball had been sketchy. We had done some things in a previous lifetime, and then we sort of took a break. And then Craig came in and right out of the chute put us in a position of being able to get to the tournament. And that is not unrecognized in his profession. Now, the challenge is sometimes in our community, we don't recognize it. And to be honest with you, you go 8 straight years and everybody goes, well, you know what? He's in it again. And it becomes sort of like nonchalant. You take it for granted. And what we don't want to do is ever take that for granted. So have people pursue Craig? I have, no idea what all those conversations look like, but we're foolish to think that he's not on a lot of people's radar screen. So we want to prevent that from happening, and we don't want to give him any reason to go out there and pursue that. We want him here at Kentucky. He's an important part of us.
Well, I mean, there's been more interest than others, but this is where I want to be. This is where I want to coach. This is where I want to raise our family and be with my wife. And when people show interest, it's like a recruit. Of course, you're like, well, that's kind of exciting. But at the same time, it's important for me to look at this program as a piece of who we are. And if people are interested, that's great. But this is where we are.
Craig, you said this contract extension is more about the kids in the program. What's the difference between this one and the last one?
Just the longevity of being able to make a push for even more national prominence, than the stability in this profession, stability in what we're doing here at Kentucky. And it's from where we were in 2005 to where we are now is a significant jump. Going to the next level is a big jump, and I want our current players, our future recruits, our incoming players to understand that we've done great things, but if we're satisfied with that, then I don't want you to be part of this program. I want people to want to be part of this program to compete with Texas, to compete with the best teams in our league, to compete with the teams going to the Final Four, and it takes a heavy investment from myself, our players, and a joint relationship with our administration to make that next push.
Mitch, Craig was one of your very first hires when he got here, and now he's the longest tenured coach here. How much did that play into making sure that you kept him here even longer?
Well, I mean, he is one of my hires. He'd be the longest tenured coach. The longest tenured, who might be sitting right back there in the corner, and Coach Mullins. I don't want. He'll shoot me. He does have that ability.
Very accurately.
Very accurately. So he'll kill me, but he won't miss. But in terms of that, it's important. I mean, as I've said in other things, you get in the trenches with people, and you're in with them. It gets personal, and you're standing in a hallway of a locker room, outside a locker room where you just lose in the NCAAs, and you see how hard they pour themselves into this deal and what it means. And I think that slips away from us sometimes. We see the result on the paper, and we go, okay, they won, they lost, whatever, and we tend to walk away from it. Our coaches go home with it. And so you get into it with those folks, and you sit there and you see how much it means to them, and so you get invested in that. And for all of us that have enjoyed Craig and Megan in this community and the friendships that they've created, I can walk around now and go to different places in Lexington, and people say, oh, Craig and Megan, they're great friends, and it goes beyond volleyball. So. They're a part of our community, and that's important to us. And then you get to the volleyball piece, and you're in it competing with them. It's important. And then you get to a level of comfort that that they are wanting to achieve great things and do really good things. And why give that up to go to an unknown? We don't want to do that. We stay with what we know. And again, we all know how special Lexington is. They know how special Lexington is, and this university is. So why change what we're doing? And we're trying to make this a very special university, and the Skinners are a part of that.
Craig, you guys have narrowed the gap and in some ways eliminated it between Florida and the rest of the league as it had been forever. And I know there are several schools that are part of that in the SEC. Talk about what it's going to take to lower that or to eliminate some of that gap in the national picture with the Texases and the Penn States and schools like that, and where you are on that.
Well, you know, we all become a lot better coaches when we have great players, and, you know, recruiting is everything. And so, you know, you need difference makers to get through the regional. You need difference makers to win championships, and, you know, we're continually seeking those players, and there's a lot of competition for those people, no question, in our league and the conferences, the major conferences around us, and you know, so that's obviously very important. We have a great class coming in, and you know, looking at some great players down the road. The next thing is we have to be very efficient offensively to score points, and we think we need to go a little bit faster so we can kill the ball more efficiently at a higher level. You look at Oregon; they averaged 15.5 kills a set. We averaged 14. You know, and that's, you know, you have to, is it the speed, is it the pace, is it the who's attacking the ball, is it where you're attacking the ball along the net? There's so many different variances, but defensively we've always been pretty solid, and we'll never go away from that, but scoring points and stopping people at the same time and being physical, those three things at the regional level is critical, and we have to continue to try and master all three of those pieces.
Craig, the support from the athletic department and Mitch and giving you this extension, you know, how much does that commitment kind of reassure where you are in this program, and does it give you a sense that you can take it now where you need it to go?
Well, to me, it's unbelievably exciting because in our sport, it doesn't happen very often that get a contract of this length, and I can't thank Mitch and Dr. Kaplew again for that trust in myself and our staff to continue to do that. So, you know, if it's exciting to me, I need to parlay that into our recruits, our current players, and excited to go take the next step and get better and never see a day, you know, that we aren't trying to improve ourselves. And you know, the people we're pursuing recruiting-wise understand that this is a long-term deal and something that, you know, we don't want to be okay, we want to be great. And that's an everyday process, and I want players to be part of this program that accept that challenge.
What have you learned from not only your successes but also your failures? You know, getting to the Sweet 16, but obviously that's not where you guys want to be. You want to be further along from that. What have you learned from those experiences, and how do you think that you can take those experiences to get you where you need to be?
Boy, I think we try and learn every day. You know, we try and learn, did we do this correctly? Are we tackling this system the right way? And I think as you get longer into the process, you learn quicker what works and what doesn't work. When you're early as a head coach, in 2005, my first year as a head coach, I would probably try things way too long. And I think now we probably understand a little bit more. If we try something, it's not going to work. We don't want to beat a dead horse and try and, you know, fix it when it may not be fixable. So understanding what will work with the current people you have, I think, has been a process, and then finding the right recruits. You know, it's not just touching 10 feet, but the kids that can touch 10 feet or close to it, and also become great volleyball players.
As far as this process of the contract itself, when did that get fired up? Mitch, when you decided that we need to take a look at this and keep it here?
You know, clearly you get to the end of the season and all the rumblings of movement in the industry. You know, I don't care what it happens every year, every sport. And, you know, you say, okay, well, we got to protect this and make sure. And so Craig and I had some conversations, and he said, you know, I said, what are the things we need to do to get better? And you know, and he has some very specific things that he wants to help move the game of volleyball forward, and we're committed to doing that. Some things like a sport-specific floor out there that is, what do you call that?
Terraflex.
That's it. That's it. So you put that out there, and then I'm not sure how that gets done, but
Jamie will figure
that out. So we'll do that. Yeah, Jamie, thanks for that. Appreciate that. Did you see him pass out in there? So So we do that. You've got that, and then there's things in terms of how we continue to promote the game and continue to grow it in the community. And as Craig said, it is an extremely popular game in terms of growth in our state. It's amazing how it's grown. And we've been able to watch that firsthand. And so those are pieces. How do we continue to get it out there publicly, whether that's in the television piece and the radio piece, and those are all pieces of that puzzle that we'll continue to put together. So those are things we've got to find ways to continue to grow that. And so we've had it on the internet and had people, you can live stream it and all that stuff and listen to that. And that's been good. And but how do we go the next step beyond those kinds of things? And then, just continuing to foster an ability for them to be able to recruit the best players, and what does that look like? And so we've done a lot. But again, the first part of that journey is one thing, both for the staff and the players and coaches. That's one thing. Then we've got a part of the journey that we're obligated to as well, and we've got to continue to work at that. So that's our commitment level, and I think that's true in most of the sports that we have. We get to a certain spot, and sometimes it's easy to take a big deep breath and go, wow, and you exhale. But how you get to that next spot, it's incumbent on everybody, my staff, our administrative piece, and then how we support those coaches and athletes to get to the spot, which, it sounds trite, but to dream big and to go achieve dreams is what we want to do. And, there's not a day I'm sure that he doesn't think about dreaming of winning an SEC championship and a national championship. We dream those same dreams for all of our sports. And how we help them pursue that is really, really important. We got a national championship coach back here in Coach Mullins. I mean, I don't know how long he dreamed of that dream, but a while. It took a while, didn't it, Harry? And you finally get to that spot, and it's pretty cool. But it takes a while. Sometimes those things are birthed 20 years in the making, 15, 20 years in the making, and they finally come to fruition. Now, we're not hoping for 20 years here in this process, but at the same time, it might be that kind of growth, and that's okay, as long as we continue to pursue it together and we try hard together. So, other questions?
So we're gonna see a new surface next season?
Yeah, something Terraflex. It will be that.
Goes over the basketball court?
We're not digging anything up, so I'll assure you that.
That would not be good.
No, that would be bad. That would be bad. So we'll figure that out, yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. Naming opportunities available. So if you want your name on that court, Mark, we can work that out. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody being here, and thank you again to Craig and to Megan. We're great. It's great to have them here with us for a long time to come. So thanks for coming today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mitch, was it important to get this done before the Mayan calendar ended?
Do what?
Was it important to get the calendar?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.